This is Calvin Castine. It's Tuesday, the 18th day of February 2003. We're on Elm Street in Champlain. For those unfamiliar with Elm Street, we'll give you a little bearing. The M.B. Clark Funeral Home is there. The Knights of Columbus is there. The former Champlain Academy site that burned in 1940 is right there, now occupied by Carl Friend family. We're here looking at a very smoky fire at one of the oldest sites in the village of Champlain, the former Savoy Hotel. Thick smoke coming out of the roof area. George Cookman directing traffic down here on Elm Street. It's not too far from the fire station. The fire station is just beyond us here in the distance. Beyond that, the Champlain Memorial Library and Champlain Elementary School, and of course beyond that, the Kimpex building, the former site of Sheridan Iron Works and the Harris Corporation. We're going to relocate and see if we can get a different angle on this very, very smoky blaze here. There's flames shooting out the window up there in the upstairs. Thick black smoke coming out. A ladder truck is from Rouse's Point here on Mutual Aid. As we come up Prospect Street, we're gonna hopefully, I have no way of knowing as we're taping this, hopefully nobody is in there. Our horns blaring. Hose is shooting straight down. Running hoses out the front. This building, of course, is owned, as Champlainers will all know, by a Champlain town councilman, Clifford Red DeMars, and his wife Betty. I know there are apartments in there. This corner apartment would seem to be where the fire is concentrating at the moment. They are running a hose in through the window, trying to knock down that fire. Water is running off the roof of that little outbuilding that's attached to it. Thick smoke as I was coming down the Ridge Road. As soon as I crested the hill on the Ridge Road, the smoke came into view. I'm going to continue to tape as we cross the street. I guess we're not the only one here with a video camera. At this distance we can taste that smoke. Always a hazard to the firemen just breathing this stuff. There's a fireman up there at the top of the ladder surrounded by smoke. All volunteers, stopping what they were doing when this call came in. I'll show you the time here. This is not accurate time. It's actually 11:54. I would say the call came in probably an hour ago, somewhere around 11. Looks like they've got foam going into that window up there. Although there's activity on the other side of the building, my guess is that they're concentrating on this corner. There are fire hydrants nearby. The smoke seems to be getting thicker as we go. That may be a good sign that there's less flames. But very thick smoke, as thick a smoke as I can recall ever seeing in a fire. This building has a lot of history. We're going to try to get some of that. David Patrick, I think, recently put out a little information on that, and we're going to try to pass that along at the end of this. We had Kenneth LaPlante Jr. standing next to us for a while. I'm sure his father, Ken LaPlante Sr. is here. Dave Pazek from the Press Republican. We know Rouse's Point is here. West Shazy, LaCole is here. We have LaCole, West Shazy, Rouse's Point. So mutual aid kicking in. And just because there's other departments I haven't seen yet doesn't mean they're not here. There's Ken LaPlante Jr., Kenneth LaPlante, Lee LaPlante. Said as he approached us, another landmark in the village of Champlain. We can look across the river. I guess maybe we can't from here. Ken, looks like there's a better view over there. As we're relocating, we'll try to shoot across the river, and we can't get a good view of it here, but Paquette Park, where Paquette Park now stands, all that was burnt. Where the barber shop is, that was all burnt years ago. Those big blocks. There's another angle. So we trudge through the snow. Temperature about 18 degrees as we arrived here. I'm just getting over a severe cold. I'm trying to walk and talk and tape at the same time.
My boots in your car? My boots in your car? Yeah, everything is.
So much smoke coming out of so many crevices. I have a group of firemen here ready to put some foam through that window. I think they're gonna, no, just water. Probably hoping to push that window through. I saw, of course, smoke coming from there. I don't know if they're hoping the pressure will push that window in there. Actually raising the window. But it looks like there's another window, there's a storm window they raised. There's still smoke coming from behind the wall there. Smoke coming out of that window. The foam was shot. A lot of decisions. There's Shazy. The local fire chief is the man who operates the show. Looks like they're going to go up a ladder. More smoke coming out from the front now. I'm sure there's somebody still at the top of that ladder from Rouse's Point. Rescue hose number 5, I haven't seen them, but they come to all major structure fires in the area, the mutual aid area, providing oxygen refills. And obviously whoever's up at the top of that ladder is shooting almost blindly, trying to knock that fire down. And looks like there's nobody up there, just left the hose up there. So there's nobody up there at the moment. They have attached the hose and the hose is shooting down, which makes sense. If you can keep a fireman out of there, why have him there? And whoever's operating the truck at from the bottom is manipulating where that hose would go. Looks like there's two plumes of smoke coming out. It's a brown, almost muddy type of color. $174 is the number on the door. I'm not sure if that's Prospect or Elm. The driveway comes in off Prospect. And now they're gonna try to break the window, I guess, to get that. You can see the smoke. Here comes the smoke. You gotta be ready with the hose when they do that. And the hose is currently occupied behind that firefighter. Well, it's ready to move over as soon as he gets out of the way. Once you open the window, you're allowing more air in there, and you gotta be ready to attack that area. While we've been occupied on that side, we were unaware of just how bad it was on this side. And thick black smoke coming out this side. It's like they have used foam on this side. Thick black smoke. The only thing you can think of to be thankful for is that today is a relatively mild day compared to the below zero weather we've had. So it's not quite so strenuous. It's a thick black within the coming out of that area. Smoke within the smoke. But it's just not as strenuous on the firemen and women who are here battling this. All they can do is use their expertise and give them their best guess. There's the owner, Red DeMars, in the background, now blocked out by the smoke. And of course, a brick building can be like a brick oven. The fire can't burn through like it would with wood. So it helps keep the flame inside, and it just burns all that much hotter, I would assume. Many shades, including some extremely black shades of smoke. And you cannot have that much smoke without having a huge inferno inside of this building. Look at the black smoke in this corner. It's like they're battling 2 or 3 different fires here as they move into the front now to try to attack it from this side. Attacking it, I guess, from all 4 sides and from every window they can get into. There's St. Paul, Quebec. Our county mutual aid, of course, much more than our county, includes our neighboring fire departments in Vermont and Quebec. And as I said, even though there's departments we haven't spotted or mentioned here, there are a lot of departments here that I will not mention because we just don't spot them. Now we're seeing some red flames of smoke coming out of this, a red hue to the smoke coming out of this window. The smoke is just getting thicker and thicker up that way. Red smoke coming out from that window. I'm not sure if the camera's picking up that color. Pinkish color at times a darkish red mixed with the brown, black, and white and gray. I haven't seen much for flames up for that one time in that corner. And you can imagine the amount of water that's sitting in there right now. They've relocated again to shooting water. That ladder is actually going over the building. It's coming down on top of these firemen. There's a river of foam coming onto the street here, where it just made its own river. It's coming down in different directions. Another fireman going up the ladder, going onto that roof. Again, a volunteer stopping whatever he was doing. come here to try to put this out. He's trying to break the window so they have another place to attack the fire. Smoke getting worse and worse. And as I said, I don't know if that's good or bad. If that means attacking more of the flame. The foam here inching its way down the street. More pink smoke or reddish smoke coming out of that new opening. That might be carpet, could be furniture. Not sure what that reddish smoke would be. We've been taping for over 25 minutes. We're going to move to another location. We're going to move further back and give you a view of what this looks like from beyond the immediate vicinity. They've come down the street a ways to attach to another hydrant. George Cookman working hard to keep traffic going here a lot. Everybody rubbernecking as can be expected. And making sure nobody gets run over, no accidents in here. We're now down in front of the Clark Funeral Home. Another ladder truck arriving. Again, this time is actually 12:24. Ladder truck arriving. The West Chazy firemen running hose down to here. This is Plattsburgh, I believe, District 3. District 3 aerial truck. Saw Moore's firefighters arriving as we were. I'm sure there were already Moore's firefighters here long ago. We moved way across the road now. We're off Main Street at the St. Mary's Academy Hill. And smoke still rising. Making a cloud here over the village of Champlain. A very dark cloud. One final view for the time being. This is the Ridge Road overpass over the Northway. And it's starting to snow. And smoke very, very visible from this vantage point. knocked that wall down, or fell down.
A lot of workers left the bus side. Know that if they're losing acres, they want to go. So I'll put the spot here. Whatever the spot.
We're back on the morning following the fire to survey what's remaining of the once proud mansion that later became known as the Savoy. In 1851, in May of 1851, Bartlett Nye, a prominent village of Champlain resident, began construction on his mansion here on the top of the hill on Elm Street. And in 1930, it was turned into a hotel with a restaurant, bar, and dance floor. The DeMarces bought the property in the late 1960s. They ran a bar and served food out of here for several years, gradually turning it into apartments. More and more apartments added on. The prominent story seems to be that there are 11 apartments in here, 14 residents left homeless by this blaze. One of the residents is right there, Henry LePan. And behind the debris we can just barely see Lauren Generou. It was in the news very recently about Lauren's daughter, 3-year-old, who woke his parents up when she smelled smoke in their apartment at another location in Champlain. Again, to acclimate people who are not familiar with this area, there's the Champlain Elementary School. This yellow building is the fire department in Champlain. There are a number of mobile homes located here on the DeMarce property. St. Mary's School is across the river. While this blaze was going on, there were other major structure fires in the county, in Beekmantown and in Redford. And in addition to our local fire stations being called here in Vermont and Canadian that we mentioned earlier, the Burke Fire Department was called when rescue hose number 5 was forced to leave to go to some of the other structure fires. So the Burke Fire Department from Franklin County came over to supply oxygen. There's another view facing toward the river. We've been told by a fireman that a backdraft, even though this structure here, which is nearby, there's no fire damage, a backdraft occurred, blew out this door right here, according to what we've been told. Firefighter Pete Timmons, who, if you watch our fireman softball games, you frequently see Pete Timmons out there enjoying the softball season. But he's on that fireman softball team because he's a member of the fire department, and he was here battling that blaze, and that backdraft threw him backwards toward the truck, the fire truck that was parked near here. So he luckily escaped injury. This apartment seems to be in good shape. The fire department broke the windows to avoid a backdraft, I guess, but they were able to keep the fire away from this apartment, 2 apartments right here, and there's no damage visible inside of those structures. But there's little left here, and of course before you can think about rebuilding, you have to sort out the debris. I'm sure some of the 15 residents or 14 residents who are here will want to be here, and there might be a valuable or 2 of theirs that they want to rescue, although there's some apartments obviously where there's absolutely nothing that can be saved. But there might be something buried underneath that rubble that would become a treasure at this point to the people who lived here. The family photos, so many things that are lost forever when fire destroys. And you saw the thick smoke. Some of the firefighters last night when we were here told me that there are a lot of brick walls in there. They'd get through one wall and come up to another wall, so it gave the fire places to hide. And you can see right here, you can see the thickness of the walls right here. This was a mansion built by a prominent man in the 1850s. Many of our brick structures in Clinton County occurred in that period, 1850s through the Civil War era. I know my home, there are newspapers in the wall that date back to the 1860s, a brick house. This one here, Bartlett Nye, began construction on in 1851, in May of 1851. And on February 18th, 2003, its history came to an end. We're now looking directly toward Elm Street. Red DeMars is out and trying to figure out what he's going to do. Florence Carden over there taking a picture beneath that flagpole said she had her wedding reception here. She and Armin Carden, many in that era, 40s and so on, had their, or maybe early 50s, had their wedding receptions at the Savoy. So it's a lot of history gone with the wind on this February 19th, 2003. And as we close out, we want to point out at this point, they're not certain exactly where the fire started. I imagine fire investigators will be here shortly to try to assess that. It appears from what Red DeMars said that a possibility that a water pipe froze and burst, and water may have shorted out something electrical and smoldered in the wall, and We've had very, very cold temperatures for the last couple of weeks. So this may have all started because of frozen water pipes. That's going to conclude our coverage of the tragic fire. Tragic for the history, but more so for the families that lived here and for the DeMars family that owns it.